Hi everybody. Thank you for joining me. So today is our Friday sketch day and I have each Friday this month we're going to be doing a 6.5 by 6.5 uh, template. And from that template we'll make however many cards we can. I think this week it's going to be a total of 6 cards. And you can pause here to get all the measurements. So we're going to go ahead and jump right in. Now when I started this video, I totally didn't realize I put down one of the measurements wrong. And it's the one where you see the diagonal cut. I said I had made the first cut at 3.5. That is technically supposed to be at 3 inches. So right around in here, I'm like, okay, well, stuff is kind of measuring up. And I realized when I go to cut my 4 squares, that is not lining up. It's not making sense. I'm like, and I shouldn't have all this extra. Like it should be even. I know I figured out the measurements right. Well, it turns out I did, except I wrote one measurement wrong. And it's actually, you see, I'm still going. I'm still trying to make this work. I'm like, okay, well, I'll just trim a little bit off and we'll get this all even. Well, right about in here, I'm like, I should not have had extras because I've been cutting these specifically not to have any extras. So I had to change it from 3.5 to 3. Once I did that, then that bottom square, I'm cutting it on the long edge to create the diagonal. And then the other piece we had, the squares should cut at 1.5. So that way they're all even. And on the remainder sheet, we're going to cut the 2 individual pieces and the top one. Ugh, I'm like tripping over my tongue here. But once we got all the pieces, it was time to put everything together. And on this particular one, the kit that I got, I want to say it wound up having some cut aparts in it. So I'm using nothing but the cut apart page. You know, where it has like all of the large sentiments and it has a little bit of everything. So there was only one square that I didn't use from the actual cut apart page. Everything else were being used. And it's either going to be on the outside or the inside. And you'll see as we go. So once I kind of get these laid out and I'm figuring, exactly how I want to have them lay out and which way, what am I going to work with this or with that, I decided to change up because I had one over on the side and I like the XO better because it has the greens and the pinks and I just like the way that it went instead of that other one. So that the black with the pink flowers we're going to wind up putting on the inside of a card. And to put everything down on our card fronts, I'm using again the ATG and the art glitter glue. And what I like about doing this is it allows me to create a bunch of cards that I can either put into a kit or, a collection and give away as gifts, which I really want to start doing. And also, possibly even, selling down the road. So I did pull out the peeled paint, distress ink, and I decided to go around all of my edges on the paper pad, the pattern paper that we cut up, and on the cut aparts. Because on some of them, sometimes you don't cut right on the line like you want. When stuff like that happens, sometimes just distressing the edges helps make it clean again. So we're just going to lay everything down. And I think I only wind up using foam on one of the fronts, and that's the one I do at the very end. But on this one, I'm taking the one that we cut on the diagonal. And the one is going to go on the far left, and then the other side you'll see I'm going to put on the far right. At first, I was thinking I was going to put them both on the same side, but I like the long edge on the bottom. So in order to make that happen, I just had to put it on the opposite end, and I'm not mad at it. I liked how it turned out, so we're just going to keep on going. You can see there how I attempted to, I almost put it on there. I was like, oh, nope, nope, I'm going to put it over here. go around the edges, and then attach. And really and truly, like this could have been it. This we could call this done. You know what I'm saying? Once I get all these put together, but I decided to, of course, bring out some of the Nouveau drops, which we'll do at the very end. But on here for this particular card, what I'm doing off screen is I'm grabbing some craft paper, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to do the craft and have them sit on it, or if I wanted to do the black. Well, I wind up deciding on the black paper. And here's the deal. When it comes to these four square kind of sketches, it drives me nuts because even though in my mind I know I measured and I made everything as even as possible, whenever I go to put it down, they always in some way get off kilter, you know? And so the only way that I need to fix it for this one, which you'll see, I'm just going to keep putting them down, trying to line them up as best I can, and then I'm going to start trimming. I'm going to use the trimmer. It's going to cut off more than I want it, so then you'll see me bring out the scissors, and I'll be trimming everything down with that. And in the end, it's just a slight border going around the four squares. And there I was like, why can't I figure out which way this piece of paper goes? I thought I had it laid down. That's what happens when you start moving stuff and you don't take note where you're pulling it from. And then we're going to attach this one. Get some glue on the back. And we'll go ahead and lay that one down. And I probably could have left that. Left it alone and been done with it. But like I said, when I looked at it, it looked like it was uneven. So I'm like, okay, let me trim it down. It won't be that hard. You gotta laugh at yourself sometimes because, I mean, really, I could have left it alone. I could have left it alone. But instead, I wound up trimming it, like I said, with scissors, and I finally got it to where I want it. And I wasn't sure if I was going to put the thankful across the middle. I decided I liked the bitter on the bottom. So I grabbed some foam strips. I just had a few pieces left, and I decided to cut them and put them on the focal image, and then use my regular foam tape on the back of uh, the sentiment, the thankful. So we're going to take the backings off and get those attached. And then that's done. So those are all our cards done. And then real quick, like this one with the heart, I'm just going to tape it with the ATG, put it right in the center, and that gives me a little bit of a room on the bottom. And then on this one, I was trying to decide which one I wanted to put that thank you in. And I felt like that one, it probably worked the best. And then based off of like on the fronts, if it had like on the front of that one it says love you. So on the inside I put the one that had a little bit more wording. And then I'm just looking, trying to figure out which section. And then just a simple, wonderful in every way, leaving room on that one to write if I want it. Now this one, I'm using a bigger piece and a bigger sentiment. So on this one, it might be more like a card tagged idea to where the inside and the front say it all, and then like I would just write to and from on the back for a person. But there we go. So with one sketch, we were able to do 6 cards. And now to finish them off, I was thinking about the pinks. I was thinking about actually doing the green by itself. And I decided, you know what, the best thing would be to do a combination of the green and the black. So depending on the card, that's what I did. I tried to keep it in odd numbers. And I tried really hard not to put my finger in it. Thankfully, the video was already done when I did put my thumb into one of them. But it's all good because at least you guys get to see the pretty version. So I'm just putting a few down. And I am tapping them just to try and get them to kind of flatten out. I like the Nuvo drops because, just by tapping them that little bit, you can almost get them to look like, the enamel dots. So I do like to tap them. Sometimes I tap a little too hard, but it's okay. And that's really pretty much all we're gonna do here is just keep layering down the green and the black Nuvo drops, trying to keep them on. Some of them I do go even simpler to where like we just do like three dots and call it a day. Um, because sometimes you just want a little bit of something, something to finish it, but you don't need like 100. Because let me tell you, I could go crazy with the Nuvo drops, just putting them all over the place. But sometimes you just don't need all that. I think this one right here, I just did three of the black Nuvo drops. And I was going to put more, and then I was like, nah, I'm good. You're going to see. I'm thinking about the green, and then I just said, no, I'm going to stop. So here are the cards, and I'm going to try and lay them strategically so that way I don't get any Nuvo drops on them. But I think they turned out really pretty. So here are the close-ups. That's the one piece that we cut in half to create two cards. Then we have the one that's more solid, a little bit bigger piece. And then, of course, the four squares. I think they turned out super cute. I really liked how they turned out. So thank you guys so much for joining me. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and share button. At the very end here, I will have links to previous Friday sketches. And like I said, the rest of this month, each Friday, I'm going to have another 6.5 by 6.5 template, and we'll try something else. Maybe do like a little bit less cards. I don't know. We'll figure it out as we go, okay? And I will have links down below to scrapbookingwithme.com where you can find a lot of the Kaisercraft collections. And of course, I hope you guys have a great weekend.